And you're starting to really get a sense of why we can't get shit done, why there's no consensus on anything. I mean, these are two governors. I mean, Kay Ivey is an incumbent by default because the first governor got drummed out of office. Gavin Newsom is the favorite because he was a very popular lieutenant governor, now running. He's got pretty much the whole state behind him. But these are two front runners for governor in two of the same states in the same country, and they're running a campaign that is, you couldn't get more different. Kay Ivey's commercial is literally talking about we're going to protect gun rights, we're going to protect Civil War statues, we're going to stop Obama in some kind of way, stop Hillary Clinton in some kind of way. I mean, her commercials don't make a big deal about it. A lot of local politicians in Alabama, their commercials are about Obama and Hillary Clinton. I mean, you would not think Hillary Clinton lost. You would think Obama was still president. You know, he's been in office for a year and a half. I mean, it's kind of incredible that they're still talking about these people. And then Gavin Newsom's commercials are all about, we're going to get tough on guns, we're going to protect LGBT rights, you know. I mean, there's no, obviously, Civil War statues in California, but if there were, they'd get rid of them. So you really could not get different, even though these are two politicians in the same country running for stuff. And I used to blame that on the primary system, because in the primary system, and it's not like Alabama, there's no way that a Democrat, well, there used to be no way a Democrat could beat Kay Ivey. If Kay Ivey was a child molester, then yeah, somebody could beat her. Doug Jones was able to beat Roy Moore because that exact race went that way. But there's no real hope for a Democratic governor in a state like Alabama, so she's got to worry about the primary season. Can she beat Tommy Battles, the successful mayor of Huntsville, who, honestly, between the two of them, I think Tommy would probably be a better governor. But, I mean, Kay Ivey's not as bad as some people that we could have. It just kind of, you know, it's just 50 shades of Republicans. I mean, it's like, who do you want? Kay Ivey's not as bad as Roy Moore. She's not as good as Tommy Battles, so it's sort of somewhere in there. But, you know, she's got to worry about her primary. And Gavin Newsom's got to worry about, because they have a jungle primary, which means it used to be that you could basically, Schwarzenegger put this in place saying that it would make California more competitive for Republicans. Basically, it would stop the partisan system. Like what they have is that two candidates can go from the same party to the general election. So a lot of people are expecting the governor's race and the Senate race to just be two Democrats going up to the general election. But the jungle primary, there's no evidence that it really stops the partisanship. Most districts are not competitive. Something like 70% of congressional districts are completely not competitive at all. Majority of Senate seats are not competitive. Majority of governor's races are not competitive. So you do have a primary system where the only way somebody can beat you is if they get to your left or they get to your right, and then they flank you in that way. Eric Cantor, the only way he lost his re-election seat was because a Tea Party nut got to the right of him somehow and cut him off. Now, I mean, was that the best thing for that district? I mean, probably not, because he was pretty big. I mean, he was John Boehner's right-hand man. I mean, he was the second most powerful person in the House of Representatives. Now that district is represented by a nobody that you probably never heard of. But I think that the primary system is poison in that way, and that you just have the most extreme people getting through there, because that's what they have to. I mean, in California, you have to run, all the commercials are about, you know, they're not saying an open border system, but they're essentially saying an open border system, because they're saying if you get into California, you're not going to get deported, and they're not going to cooperate with ICE, and they're not going to do this. In Alabama, they're basically saying if you are an illegal, you're going to be frog marched to the swamp and killed. I mean, it's like those are the two extremes that you've got there. With these commercials, you can start to see the divide in our country, mostly coming from the primary system. And I'm not really sure how you can fix it, because California doesn't, you know, they tried to fix it. And in a way, it just wound up where it would have anyway. Probably made it even worse, because now there's no general election, right? So somebody like Gavin Newsom or Dianne Feinstein, they never have to really run against a Republican. They have no incentive to move to the middle. They have no incentive to move to, you know, anywhere but the left, because they're never going to face anybody who's not a Democrat. And then other, you know, really unpopular Republicans like Kevin McCarthy and Dana Rohrabacher or whatever. So all these big, you know, California Republicans like Devin Nunes that Trump relies on, it should be easy for Democrats to pick those seats up. But because there's only one or two Republicans running, but like 8 Democrats, they split the vote so much that you might have a case where a lot of the Republicans don't really face a Democrat, because they get the top votes and then they go to the fall that way. So it hasn't really done anything in terms of shaking up the political system.